I just need 2 minutes of your time, sir. Nope. Oh, got his attention. Are you getting mad because I'm not petting you? Okay, we good? Okay. Year after year, we watch celebrities get interviewed on talk shows. They talk about their new movie, their new relationship, but they're not talking about the one thing I know all of you care about, their rescue dogs. So we're changing that right now. Welcome to My Owner's a Celebrity. We have a really fun dog owner on today. She's known as the voice of Pam Poovey on the animated TV series Archer. Welcome, Amber Nash.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I kind of want to get to know you a little bit first because the whole rest of this is going to be about your dog.
Okay, great. I've been talking to Carol about it all morning. I'm like, Carol, I'm going to talk about you on the podcast. Usually I have to talk about myself, but this is so much more exciting.
It might be a relief for people to finally get to talk about their dog instead of themselves.
Yes.
But you first.
Okay.
You were a voice actor. What made you choose that line of work?
I got a degree in psychology, and I was working out of wilderness camp for teenagers that had had troubles and were sent to this rehabilitative camp. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something creative. And I found a theater that did improv. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It felt so free and risky and energetic. And I was like, I want to do that. And so I started taking classes at this improv theater. And eventually through that, I met people that worked there that worked at advertising agencies, and they needed people to do voice work for like commercials. And then Adult Swim is located in Atlanta, where I'm from and currently live. And they were doing animated projects all the time. And so I got a job working on a small animated show. And then that grew into a bigger thing in my relationship with the guys that eventually made Archer. And so when they created the show, they brought me on. Everybody else on the show was a big celebrity. And then there was this person nobody had heard of that was just like a theater artist from Atlanta. And I was like, here I am.
That's really amazing.
Yeah. It's kind of really fun journey. It's not a normal path that people usually take.
No, that's why I'm so curious about this. Okay, now to the good stuff.
Okay.
Tell me about Carol.
Okay. What do you want to know first?
What kind of dog is she? And then, of course, the most important thing, her adoption story.
We're not exactly sure what kind of dog she is. She very much looks like a pit bull. They told us she was a Mastiff mix. But she only is like 60 pounds. So we're like, she is not a Mastiff. But you know that a lot of times in the South, in order to get pits adopted, they kind of fudge what kind of dog they are because they think people are going to be scared to adopt a pit bull, which is, of course, absolute horse. Can I say that?
You can say whatever you want, honey.
What I think she actually probably is like a pit and maybe a boxer mix, because she's not a squat little pit. She's got long legs. We always say she's a pit bull supermodel mix because she's like so beautiful. She's brindle. She's got really long legs. She's got a big chest, so she kind of looks like maybe she has some boxer in there, but her head is all pit bull. She's got a big smile. I've never had a dog like her. She's not like a dog. She's very smart. She's kind of a scaredy cat about lots and lots of stuff. And she doesn't like things that most dogs like. Like, she's not food motivated. For a long time, my husband and I thought that she didn't really like us either. Like, what do you like? We don't know what you like. But as she's gotten older, she's kind of settled in, and she's got a particular personality.
She sounds like a supermodel.
She really is. She's so incredibly beautiful. It looks like she's always wearing high heels because her legs are so long and straight.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where did you adopt her from?
I had my previous dog, and she passed away. And so there was 2 years that I didn't have a dog, and I call those the dark years. And my husband had never really grown up with dogs in the same way that I had. Like, I always had a dog. So I started looking online and trying to find a dog to rescue. And I would just like sit on my couch with my laptop and pore over these sites and just like cry all night. And Kevin was like, you can't do this anymore. Like, I'm going to take over. I'll find us a dog. It's just too much for you. And I was like, okay, thank you. So he found this rescue organization in Noonan, Georgia, and it's called Tender Heart Rescue. The situation was that they had a dog that was pregnant, brought her to this rescue where she had all of her puppies, and Carol was one of them. So Carol was luckily never kind of in the system. She was born at a rescue organization, and then they found homes for all the puppies. So it was between Carol and this other dog that was blonde, and she had blue eyes, and she was so beautiful. But you could just tell that she was going to be a handful. And Carol was kind of like quiet and like shaking in the corner. And I was like, let's get that one. And so that's why she's a little bit neurotic. I should have known that from the beginning.
What made it so important for you to adopt a dog rather than buying one?
You know, the idea of buying a dog has just never even crossed my mind. There's so many dogs that need homes that it's like, why would I go get a dog from a breeder that are putting more animals into the world that are going to need more help and home and families? And so it just isn't an option for me.
Is it hard because at least with your work, but balancing having a dog, obviously, and a dog like Carol, and then trying to balance your work life? Because I'm sure you're not stagnant. You travel a lot, I would assume.
Yeah.
So
That can be the hardest part, is traveling, is because we also have a cat, and Carol and our cat are like best friends. It's so funny.
Oh, I
She's
love
not
that.
great with other dogs, but she loves cats. But we're really lucky that my niece she's about to turn 30, which I can't believe, but she is our like dedicated house sitter. So she, whenever we're gone, can come, and she knows the animals and they love her. And like, I think Carol actually likes Jasmine more than she likes me and Kevin. And she's their person. And so she takes care of the animals. And if I didn't have that, like before I was able to pay somebody to house sit for me, I just wouldn't have been able to travel as much. So I'm really fortunate that I can get somebody to take care of them, because I know, Carol's kind of a special dog. Like I couldn't just drop her off at a friend's house because they'd be like, you gotta come get this dog. She is crazy. So having somebody that knows her and she can stay in her own place is really helpful. Otherwise, I just wouldn't be able to travel so much.
They can't just go to doggy daycare. Like that's not how it works
Nope.
with my dogs. I need someone to be in their space. So that's really amazing that you have your niece.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's not food motivated, you said?
No.
Does she like toys or anything?
She's like a ripper-upper. Like she loves to get a toy, and I'll get
Okay. Same.
the toughest ones, like the ones that are like, these are indestructible. It's like, yeah, right, they're indestructible. So she won't chew on a Kong. Like she wants something she can rip apart. And there's like, she's got like pretty saggy, we call them her side lips. So she'll have like threads and stuffing like hanging out of her side lips, and it's just like mayhem. So she's into that kind of thing, and we call them her beast babies. And so if there's something going on around the house and she's like, oh, this is a fun time, like we're all having a great time, she'll have to leave, go get a beast baby, come back just to make it even better. And it's like, cool, man.
It's her party.
Yeah.
Does she drool a lot?
She's not a big drooler, no. Yeah.
My old dog Tater would drool, and we'd call him his shoelaces. He'd go outside and have like long strings, but he'd come back in with like leaves and rocks, just like, yeah, it's a whole situation. What's the best part about having Carol in your life?
The companionship. She's so wonderful, and she's so easy too. Like she would never jump up, like put her feet on the counter. She would never, like we could leave a plate of food sitting on the couch and she wouldn't care. Like she doesn't get into trash. She's just like the easiest dog. And that's not always the case. And those dogs are lovable too. I love having somebody to come home to. At the end of the night, her favorite thing is when I sit down on the couch with her and then we watch TV together. And so it's like, oh, it's couch time. And it's just like I couldn't imagine my life without a dog in it.
Your dog doesn't know you're a celebrity.
Right.
Obviously.
Totally.
And then, so getting to have that unconditional love, I'm assuming it changed your life a lot.
Yeah.
And it would probably help your work a lot too, because you're at more peace, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. And like whenever you're stressed out, and I'm sure this is the same for you, where it's just like, you know what? If I'm stressed out, I can go for a walk with my dog. I can go watch her play in the yard. We call it doing the backstroke, where she just like lays on, grass and just like rolls around. And it's like, it immediately is like stress reducing. So it's like, if people are trying so hard to figure out how to reduce stress in their life, it's just like, take care of a pet.
I love that her name's Carol.
I know. So when we were trying to figure out what we were going to name her, she's always been kind of shy. So Kevin was looking up like, what are shy celebrities? And Carol Burnett came up, and we're like, oh, I would have never thought Carol Burnett was shy, but apparently she's shy in real life. And also found out that Carol Burnett has pretty long legs. So we're like, this is perfect. So Carol really stuck.
Do you practice your voices and stuff on your dog?
Kind of. More than anything, like I love to, I'm a terrible singer, but when it comes to Carol, like I will sing her songs. And it's like, I'm so prolific, like the creativity, like she's my muse. I just like sing her all these ridiculous songs all the time, stupid voices. I'm always talking to her. So yeah, in that way, for sure.
Could you imagine if there were ever hidden cameras and people saw how we acted towards our dogs? We'd all be put in the loony bin. The songs that we make up and dancing with our dogs. And that's what it reminded me of, because I sing songs to my dogs as well. Yeah, I feel like it brings out a different, a softer side in most of us.
Totally. And I'm
very
not
goofy.
Yeah. And I'm not a parent. Like I don't have kids. I'm just a pet parent. So it's like, she gets all my attention and love, and everything is just like, she's probably like, oh my God, lady, give it a rest.
I am very overbearing with my dogs. I'm not that person that's like, you over there, me over there. I'm like, you're going to hug me and you're going to love me.
Yeah.
So not to stray away from Carol, but there is something that I was told about you that I think is really, really beautiful that I wanted to see if you wouldn't mind talking about.
Sure.
Project Chimps.
Yeah.
This is something that got brought up, and I think it's really beautiful. Would you mind explaining exactly what it is?
Oh my God, it's such a great place. So when I was in college getting my degree in psychology, one of the things that I studied a lot of at Georgia State was primate behavior. And it was actually something that I thought I was going to go into because I've just been an animal lover my whole life. And chimps in particular, they're just so amazing. So I was really kind of like taken by them. So I finished college, I got into counseling kids. And then when I started working on Archer, Judy Greer, who also works on Archer, and her husband, Dean Johnson, are also huge fans of chimps and love them so much. And they had gotten involved with this sanctuary called Project Chimps, but it just happened to be in North Georgia. So I was only 2 hours away from it. And they were in LA, and they were like, oh my God, you don't know about this place? And so they got me involved, and then I ended up joining the board. And so it's only 2 hours from Atlanta, and it's a chimp sanctuary, and all the chimps that are there have been retired from biomedical research. So they've had like terrible lives. Like they've been researched on, studied. A lot of them were given diseases to see how the diseases acted in their body, like just really sad things. And the sanctuary's only been open since 2016. And we have 99 chimps right now. The oldest chimp, I think, is 42. So he spent 30 plus years of his life in the laboratory. So in 2016, the law was passed in the United States. Finally, we were literally one of the last big countries in the world to pass a law that it was illegal to do research on chimps. So all the chimps that were in the United States that were in laboratories had to be retired. So that meant that they couldn't stay in the laboratory. They can stay in the laboratory, but they couldn't be worked on anymore. So a lot of these chimps had to find sanctuary homes, and a lot of them weren't okay to go to zoos because some of them had issues,
They're traumatized.
So they found lots of places for these chimps, but there's still chimps that are waiting. So we have 100 chimps. We're still waiting to get 100 more. And so those chimps are still in the lab. So they're not working. They're getting taken care of, but not, they're still living in a laboratory. So, when these chimps come to the sanctuary, they have never been outside before. They have lived their entire lives in laboratories. And then you see them get to go outside for the first time and walk on grass and feel the wind on them. And it's just I cry every time I go up there. It's the most.
That's what I said. I'm going to start crying right now. Oh my gosh.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so all our job is to do at the sanctuary is to take care of these chimps for the rest of their lives. And, we have some older chimps that have been in the lab a long time. And then we have young chimps that are 7 or 8 that get to spend their whole lives at this place. And they get to be around other chimps because these chimps could never go back into the wild because they just wouldn't be able to survive. It'd be like dropping our dogs off in the wild. It'd be good luck. It's the best life they could have outside of living in their natural habitat. So they get taken care of. They're super spoiled. They get fresh fruits and vegetables every day. They have access to the outside. It's really a magical place.
It's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm trying to hold back the tears right now. I'm glad I put on waterproof mascara. But what a beautiful, beautiful project in place. I'm going to go read more about it after this because that's absolutely magical.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that there are people like you doing that.
Yeah. And there's it's projectchimps.org. And
Okay.
they have a great YouTube channel that has tons of videos, and they're
So I can cry.
yeah, where
Cool.
you can cry. Tell you the stories of the chimps. So yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna spend all afternoon
I'm
crying.
gonna be crying tonight. Just know that. Me, a glass of wine, and my dog will
Yeah.
be crying to chimps tonight. Now we can talk a little bit more about future things.
Mhm.
Is there anything that you're working on next or projects you have coming up?
Yeah, so it was I mostly am known for doing voice work. I also do stage work.
Mhm.
But last December, my husband and I and our friend Arlen and Laura, the group of us decided to make a feature-length film, which is the first time we've ever
Okay.
done anything like that. Kevin, my husband, wrote it. I star in it. So it's kind of like about a struggling comedian that goes home for the holidays. Her family is a show, and it's like, you know how it always is when you go home for the holidays. You're just like, how do I deal with these people?
Yeah.
And so it's just a family story, but it's really funny. It's really sweet. It's a little, all the stuff we do is kind of dirty. I mean, I'm on Archer. People know me for playing a pretty dirty character. So it's a little raunchy, and but it's super sweet. So I think hopefully it'll be released this coming December 2023. So people will be able to see it. We don't know yet where, but hopefully somewhere streaming so people can watch it at home.
That's a really big deal. That's something totally new. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Is there a name? Do you have the name for it yet?
Yes, it's called How to Ruin the Holidays.
I love that. Sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Well, yeah, I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Yeah.
I wish Carol would have joined us, but tell her thank you anyway.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's been such a treat. Thank you for all the work that you do. I think what you do is amazing, and more people need to be doing it. So we just need everybody out there adopting pitties.
Hopefully being able to promote rescue like this will
Yeah.
help a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we all have our one, and Carol is in your life now. And thank you so much. And it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.